Good morning, class. In today's session, we will see arrays. In programming, we use variables to store the data which is being used for further accessing. Means here, we need to give the data for performing the operations or to access or some other, means what type of the operation you need to perform, it has to be passed to the variables here. So whenever we are having a variable or it is storing the data, so the variable what we are using will have the data for that instant of time only. Okay, whenever we are updating the data, means whenever we are performing any updations or means any operations here on that variable, the data will be updated there. For example, a equals to 1, b equals to 2, and take it as a c is equals to a plus b, and a is equals to c plus b. Okay, so at this representation, if you see here, so what is the data being used for the a is 1, and for the b is 2, and calculating the data is 3, and it is 5. So whenever we are performing the means any operation on that one, what happens here, the value has to be, means initially the value is 1, the value has to be changed here. Means here this is being taken for the calculating or performing the addition operation on two such variables. If I want to know about the sum of 10 numbers, sum of the 10 numbers, what I have to do? I need to take 10 numbers here. So the 10 numbers has to be assigned to the, in general, they has to be assigned to the 10 variables. Make it as A1 to A10. And the value what we are accessing will be A1 plus A2 and so on plus A10. So if you are calculating for the 10 numbers, then it will be easy for storing the, means not only for the numeric calculation or any, when you are using the vast data, means very maximum data in our program, and the data will be stored. Earlier, the data what we are using has to be stored by using the variables. So I took the example here. So I am taking the example here is summation. The summation will be performed up to, means we can assign up to 50, or you may have the time, you create 10 variables and assign the values to the 10 variables. You may create 100 variables and you assign the values to the 100 variables. So here there is no any updations will be done for that variables what we are using. So what you have to do, you need to take the values to be there. So if they are being used continuously, means if they are to make the updations, or if you have to make this any many operations on that one, what you have to do, you continuously monitor the variables what we are using, and the which variable has to be used there, and the updations has been done or not, we need to see that. So that is not being organized in such a way that they will be accessed easily. So what happens here, we are allowing to access the elements to separately we are processing. So if there is a chance of processing the elements or the storing the elements at once, means at a place, at like a bunch of books or a pile of the books where how we are storing. So if there is a chance of allocating that, and we are trying to pick that books, or we are trying to pick the data from that bunch or from that pile what you have been stored. If there is a such representation, then it is called as a that is a data structure processing. So here we are organizing and we are allowing to access the data here. So this accessing of the data or been present on the what type of the data structure you have been used for processing. Why we are using this one here is when you are being able to access or when you have been able to store the data effectively and large amount of the data or the means you need to use many operations or you need to perform many things on your data elements here. Then you need to access a maximum number of the elements or the storing will be done at once. So here we are having two such representations of this data structure. In that we are having the linear and the non-linear data structure. So here in this linear and the non-linear will belongs to the non-primitive. Primitive data structures means what are the data types we are using, int, char, and the next boolean, all are there now. Float. These are being considered as a primitive data structures. In the non-primitive data structures, we are having the linear and the non-linear. Based on the programming, we have been designed, divided them into this static and dynamic. Among the static, we have the array, and the next dynamic, we are having the linked list, stack, and queue. And we have seen the non-linear also tree, graphs, and we have been discussed these means what are the properties of the stack or the queue, linked list, and tree, and the graph or the traversing, and what are the means different tree representations we are having, all these things. And among them, we will now discuss about this arrays here. Before getting into that one, see the operations to be performed on that one. Okay, so here the operations will be traversing, means visiting the node or the visiting the each and every element here, searching for the element. Further searching, we need to visit the node. Okay, and then insertion, just adding the elements to that one. And deletion means here in this insertion and the deletion, whatever the elements means, we are using stack, queue, linked list, and array, and tree and graph representations now. So based on the basic properties of that one, the functionality of that one, we will add or delete the resources. Because if you go for the tree, when we are adding or the deleting a node here, if it is a normal binary tree or the BST tree, what happens here is it won't any updations has to be done to the tree is not being taken here. For example, if you take the heap tree representation or the AVL tree, means some balancing type of the trees, means they need to be balanced and they need to be the tree or the right subtree what we are using, they need to be satisfy the features what is being used for that one. Okay, so if ever what you are taking, if the insertions and then deletions what is being so it belongs to, means it will be performed on them based on the properties or based on the features it is exhibiting. And then sorting, the sorting elements has been also used. In the sorting, you have been used many. That is a bubble sort, selection sort, and then med sort. All these being used the array representations or the there is a data structure representations only for that. And then merging means similar data structures will be merged into the one. So these are the operations we are having. And coming to the arrays here. So here, as I said, we are having the problem that we need to organize and access the data in a contiguous manner or the continuous manner. So what happens here, this data structure allows you to take this one in a static way, which is called as a array. So this array what we are using will be a that is a storage one or a accessible one of the elements what have been stored, and it stores or it is being specified or defined as a collection of same data type elements here. Means what is the property or the feature which is exhibiting the array is we can't store the multiple behavior elements into a into that array, means where it is being specifying, and it should be stored in a contiguous memory location. Means continuous, you can, means if you say that you can store the elements at any one, but when we are accessing or when we are assigning the elements to that one, what it is doing is it is continuously accessing the next memory, the next address space, and is allows you to store in the contiguous memory spaces or the contiguous way only. So here, when we are using an array, so the array has to be the means it has to take the elements which are belongs to the same data type only, not the other data type. Means if you are trying to use the integer, then it should means it should store only the integer values. Characters means characters, float means float, or in any type of that one what you are storing. It won't access you, or if you won't allow you to store the multiple behavior elements here. And why it is a static here? Static, it is it belongs to static representation. Static array means here we need to give the size of an array is there. So the size of an array is there. If we are providing the size of an array in the dynamic position, whatever it is, so the size of an array is a fixed one. If you need to store the elements into that one, first ever representation here is we need to know what are the elements you are going to store, that is a data type there, and also how many elements you are going to store in there. Means the size of the array has to be known to the user at prior. If it is not, what happens here is they it won't access or it won't allow you to store the that much of elements into that one. You are given 12 elements to be stored and the array size is 10. The remaining 2 elements will be left there only, and it won't allow you to store in the continuous manner. If you want to store that one, what it has to do is nothing but you need to replace the elements which has been storing in that one, and the replacing here means the existing data won't be represented there. So here we should know the size of the array, and then next the data type what we are using for that one. So once you have been declared the size, it won't be changed during the execution. So if you want to change the size, you need to restart the execution and provide the new size to that one. So in nowadays we have been using some dynamic arrays or there. This dynamic arrays has been taken into the very powerful compilers here. So not at all the ordinary compilers. So the compilers have must have the capability to take the extra value extra value means the value which is not having any space for that array, and it allows you store in that array. Means here dynamically it takes the value, and at that instant of the time it allows the compiler or it allows the system to create an extra space to that one, and the value what you have been given will be stored in that space. This will completely depends upon the compiler what we are using, but it should be a powerful compiler here. Why so? Because when we are giving the values, you have been reached the out of bound. So when we are reaching the out of bound, what happens here? The elements won't be accessed. So here, what he has to do here is when you are trying to enter the data, we must parallelly the system has to check there is a space for that one or not. If not, there is no space is there. It has to create the own space by itself, and it has to assign the value into that space here. It's the memory space creation, and is allocating the memory space to this the value which is going to be inserted newly, and all these things has to be look after by the compiler. these set of the operations which has been performed by that compiler, it's means whenever you are using a powerful compiler, it's not an ordinary or the basic compiler here, the compilers will be differ for the term. Why? Because they should allow you to take these being done in the dynamic manner. Basically, the arrays what we are using will be a static only. We will give the size of that one, whether it is a statically you are giving or dynamically. What happens here is we need to store the data into that one, and it is not it is not opposing to you to take only the if you are storing the values here, means for example I want to store the values some 100 values here, means I don't know at this instant of the time I will use 100 or not. So what I'm doing, I'm mentioning the size is equals to 100. So here we need to see whether it is using the 100 elements at a time or not. So at each and every execution, the size has been mentioned. So at each and every execution, how many how many spaces it has been used here. So if it is not using much space or the worthy space, what happens here? It won't be considered as a worthy one. Why? So here the wastage of the memory space has been done. Means you initialize the 100, but you use it at the first time you've been used 20 elements only. So what happens here? 80% of that space has been not used for that purpose, and it is been assigned to you. And coming to the next, you used for the 50. So 50 of the space it used, and it is using only half of that representation. Go for the 80. 80 values has been stored, and it is been using only the 80%, and the remaining will be wasted. So when compared with the previous cases, the usage of this one will be very best one, very best one when compared to the first case, and the second one when it is using half of the space. So it is also a worthy one. So size allocation, what we are doing, the size allocation has to be done in a prior manner, but the prior manner, when you are giving in the prior manner, you should not exceed the more than the spaces here. Means what happens here, if you are using the much space for that accessing, if you decide for that processing, then just enter the size there. So if you are not using that one, what happens here is the memory space will be allocated to you, and what it is doing is it is wasting the memory spaces here. So if you are allocating the space dynamically, you will have the idea that how many elements you are giving or how many processing you are doing. So then you will dynamically give the data that is the size of an array here. So if you consider, so that's the advantage and the disadvantage of the processing the arrays. So if you see the arrays an integer type, so integer type means it only store the integer elements here, and the other elements what you are using, other means any other type elements will not be accepted into that one. So if you are providing any float data dynamically or anything, what happens here is it stops the processing, that is it won't accept the value there. And coming to the how we are going to specify an array here is, you can give the name of the array by using any alphabet or any name, or you can specify any alphanumerical format also. So if it is an integer, you can specify it as an integer. Simply we can take as an array ma, or you want to give the another name to that one, give it to that representation. And we need to specify the size of the array here. The size of the array is being specified by using the square brackets here. So the square brackets will include the size of the array. The number what you have given will be represented here. So if you are giving the values to this one, means if you want to pass the values to this one, what happens here is it allows you to store the values in this format only. Means the array size is 5, and we should give the 5 elements only. We should give the 5 elements, means it's not being exceeded with the 5. If you want to give the only 1 element, or if you want to just specify it as an empty array, it will be allowed. It should not be greater than 5 there. If it is greater than 5 also, what it is, it won't process that one, because the array size what you have been declared and the elements what you have been storing is been mismatched there. Okay. So the values what you have been storing will be referred by the respective of their index. So the index, array index was being started with the 0, 1, 2, 3, in this example 4. Okay, and basically we will start with the index that is a 0. So here, to access the elements, to access or to process the elements what we are having, we need to specify, you need to access the complete array, means take it as a array of I, and you will write a loop representation there. Or if you want to access only the second, means 2 means position 2, not the second element. At the position 2, what is the element here? I want to access that one. It will be described, will be specified that. So it is not the second position, which is at the array index. Index 2 will be accessed here. So the index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the index value we need to give. And if we want to store the elements here, means how it is going to store the elements here, is being using 5 spaces here, and these 5 spaces will be in a successive manner only. Means what is the first element here? The first element is 1. It will be stored here. And the second element is 2. Third element is 3. Fourth element 4. And then next fifth element 5. So in contiguous manner, means successive memory locations will be taken and it will store the elements there. Okay. So how we are going to refer here is by using the index. How I am going to refer is array of 2. Array of 2 means this is the index here. So how it is being represented is array. Okay. It is been represented like this. To which it is been representing, the value will be displayed there. Means if you are writing a loop here, it continuously executes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the third position, means at the third position of that array, which represents the array index 2, we will have the value that is 3. Okay. So by that we will specify the elements what we are having. And coming to the properties of the array. So here, when we are having a data type, the data type what you be representing will have this size to be stored. So that is the equivalent to the any element what you have been using there. Means there is no any change for the processing. If you are using elements that is being indicated as a integer, it occupies 4 bytes. So each and every element what we are using will be represented by the 4 bytes of space only. Okay. And what are the elements what you have been storing here? So the storing of the elements will start with the its smallest memory location. Or if you need to mention, you need to be stored at any place, then it is also allowed here. So there is no any restriction that you need to store the element at the 0. Means if you want to initialize an array in such a way here, whenever we are taking an array, it is being initialized here is what is doing, it is taking the values from its smallest memory location. If not, you want to access or if you want to store the elements here, what happens here is it is being taking the values to be stored at any place. Means you need to initialize the array by using the index. So normally what it is doing, it has to be stored the values in a contiguous memory locations, which are the successive memory locations here. Means initializing the array will start with its smallest memory location here, which is a 0. If you want to access that one, so based on the base address and then next to the size of the element what we are using, you can calculate the residing address of that one. We will see in that next slides, you have the information about that one. So why we need, means why we use this arrays or why we need this arrays here is, so here, as I said, when we are trying to access the largest amount of the data, or means if you are need to try to need this many variables, many values to be used for that one, what happens here is we need to take many variables to be initialized for the data representation. If you want to use that data, the data which is representing by that variable has to be accessed there. So if you are being misplaced the values or the any other, what happens here is, so here the processing will be will be wrong here. Means here we can't remember all the variable names here. Although you are taking the values, for example, I said that some of the 100 numbers here. What you are doing, you are taking the values as a that is you've been taking A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. So A1 is equivalent to 1 only. So you know that processing. All the time you can use such type of the representations now. So this is a summation. That means it will be easy for your processing. Means for the other data representation or the other data processing, we can't use that such variable representations there. So you need to remember all the variables you are having. In that variables, what you are doing, you need to use at that appropriate place. So if you are not able to remember or not being able to use this at the appropriate place, what happens here is writing means the program you wrote will be the correct only, because all the elements you've been initialized or the declared there itself only, but the output what you are getting for the processing will be the wrong one only. So for the processing, what you have to do, we need to take a representation which is been taking all the elements, means the set of the elements at once, and it is allowing to access the elements what you need. For example, I want to access only the third variable. So the third variable means which is resides at the third position, the index 2. So what happens here, array of 2 means it is giving the flexibility not only to store the values and also to access the values from the first, or you can specify in between also. Means you can access from the first, or you can say you can pick any random element to that further processing. If it is not allowing, then there will be a problem. So what happens here, it is allowing to know about the accessing or usage of the things what we are having. For example, if you see the example representation here, why we need this arrays concept here is, I took the 6 different subjects here, which has been taken into the consideration of the marks, that is student marks here. I want to calculate the average. So to calculate the average, we have been taking two separate representations. The first one is without using arrays, and the next one is the program by using the arrays here. So the first representation here, it specifies how many subjects there. It given that 6 subjects are there. So the 6 subjects means marks will be in the integer format. So here, mark it as an integer. So here you may give the subject names, or you may give the numbers of that one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that, and assign the value, that is the marks you got, to that variable there. And the average means total by how many numbers of subjects there. So we need to add marks 1, marks 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you need to divide with the 6 here. Then you got the average function. If I need to calculate this one for the many users means here not only for the single student, many students here. What happens there? I need to take multiple marks here, because this marks underscore 1, underscore 2, underscore 3, what you are taking, although they are the subjects, they are the subjects for that student, not the remaining students. If you want to take this to be calculated for the remaining student, you need to create another that is a variable for that one. So you may specify that there is a DS. So DS1, that is for the first number 1 student. DS2 for the second student, that is a roll number 2. DS3, DS4, DS5, DS6, like that we are. So if you are having 200 member students, you need to create the 200 different variables to that one, to assign the values to that representations, means to that two different, that is 200 different variables here. How many subjects you are having? You are having six subjects. So if it is for one student, this code will be easy. This code will be easy, then there is no any problem here. But see, how many variables you have been used? You have been used 6 variables. That one 6 variables has been used, and the 6 variables has been assigned. The time has been taken. The space has been allowed to be accessed for that one. If we are using the array here, what happens here? We need to take array representation of that one. That is the marks. How many students are they? So it is being taking only the one student here. So what happens here is the marks has to take the values up to 6. So specify the size of the array as a 6 here and store the values to that one. Okay. If you are using this one for this many students here, means not using the database, what happens here is the 6 subjects information has been that is reduced to the one array. That is a one array representation has been used for one student. So if you have been taking, means the basic concept, not the advanced concept, if you are taking the 5 students here, so the 5 students data will be stored in 5 different such arrays here. 5 different arrays will be taken, or if you may specify the marks for the first subject, marks for the first subject, marks for the second subject, or the third, or the first. What happens here is no need to use the multiple objects here. So means multiple variables here. So if you want to access the elements, means, so other than the marks, I can specify subject 1. So the subject 1 consists of how many? What is the strength of the students? You may take it as a 100 or the 200, which is equals to, it will be some time taking task, but compared to the remaining, means at the basics it will be the time taking task. Remaining one, what it is doing, it is allowing to access that one. If you are not maintaining any database to that one, you will need to store the 100 elements into that one. 100 elements means here what we are taking, 100 students data. So each and every student, what we are accessing, students data will be stored here. So each and every student's data will be given for the subject 1 and go for the subject 2 and subject 3, subject 4, subject 5. I want to calculate the average. So we need to be cautious while entering the data. If any mismatch has been occurred, then it will be means you need to see how you are going to process that one. So that is a basic, at the basic level, you will have that problem. So I want to know about the average of one student, means what I have to do, I need to calculate the arrays what we are using. The arrays will be used in that one. We need to get only the first student data, means the index will be 0. So we need to get the value stored at the 0th index, and means from each and every array, and just add these one, get all the elements from that one and add these one, and you will be having the average value. So that for the that is for the all students there. If you are taking only for the single student, what happens here is it is been taking multiple elements at a time, and it is been taking only the required elements, not the other one, and the space is also for the required them only. I said that we use, by using loop representation, you have to rate the value here. So the value has been read here is be taken into the 0 to 6. When we are taking the exact position or the exact number that you have been given for that one, simply specify it as a less than. If it is being taken as a equals to 6, then there is no element here, because the element what you have been storing has been started with the 0th index. So the value what you have been taking here will be the n minus 1. So the I value could be 0 to 5 only. So y I and the next j, that is average float value, means when you are dividing, you will get the that is decimal representations. No? So here for I equals to, where I have to start, even should give the 0 here for the index what you have been used. If it is not that, it will calculate from the second subject and it will leave the first subject there. And the average is equals to average. So initially there is no average value, which is equals to 0 here, and the marks of I. 0 plus I means 56 here. And then it's 0 plus 56, 56 at the first loop, 56, next one 56 plus 78, next plus 88 plus 76 plus 56 and plus 89. So after that the program will stop here. Why? So here the loop will fail and it has to reach to the end point, and we need to print the average what we are having. Okay, so in this representation we are using multiple values at a time. So basically, if you are not having any database for the processing, what happens here? It allows you to store the values, multiple values at a time. Although it is a means if it is a time taking process, when we are compared with the previous one, that is when you are dealing with the that is program without using the arrays, it will be very easy for accessing the multiple data elements at a time. That's about today's class. In tomorrow's class, we will see allocations and accessing of the memory spaces, all ADDs, all these things.